Is it recording already?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome to this workshop. Even if you aren't necessarily super advanced with Figma, you will definitely be able to participate because I will be there with you every step of the way, and we're going to be learning about neumorphic animations. And if you don't know what that is, we're going to get into it, so don't worry. We'll start with an introduction. My name's Masumah. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a design officer for Creative Tech Design. And this is a little overview of what we're going to do. So we're going to talk about neumorphism, the pros and cons of neumorphism. We're going to do an activity or two, and then we're going to have a little show and tell if you guys want to do show and tell, and then that's it. So it's going to go pretty quickly. Yes, Krupa, I also love neumorphism. So what is neumorphism? To shorten it into a tiny little sentence, neumorphism is a modern combination of skeuomorphism and flat design. So I'll give you some background if you don't know what skeuomorphism is. The skeuomorphism era was in the 2000s. It was like an interface that mimicked real world designs. So it was really like, we need to make this as intuitive as possible for the user. And then in the 2010s, we had flat design, which is like where minimalism really came in. And then Google came out with material design. So what you see a lot today is a combination of material and flat design. And then now there's neumorphism, which is a combination of all three of these different types of designs that I'm talking about. And if I were to describe it even further, it's like a very minimalistic use of shadows, which I'll explain more later. These are some examples of neumorphism that I found on Dribbble. Feel free to check these designers out also. So a really big principle of neumorphism is to have you use shadows and highlights basically. So you use two different drop shadows to have this weird lifting but shadowy effect, which is what we're going to play with today. And we're going to play with the Smart Animate feature in Figma to just spice it up even more. And the pros and cons, there's really only one pro, and it's not even worth that much. It's just new and unique. I feel like our eyes are really trained to flat UI a lot right now, and that's kind of getting a little bit boring. So neumorphism is like a little refresher. The cons, which I think definitely outweigh the pros, is that it's pretty inaccessible because of the use of the two different drop shadows. It has really poor contrast, so that's really difficult for users. And then also there's a spacing issue. If you have different elements that use neumorphism, it can become really crowded as opposed to its flat UI counterpart. So that's also an issue. Okay, so let's play. I've given you a little bit of background knowledge. I'm really excited. So I'm going to share this Figma file with you. And once you have it, just navigate to any page that is named Claim and Rename This Page, and just take it and rename it. And then while I screen share, I'll walk you through how to create your own animation using neumorphic principles, and then we'll do a little show and tell. But before I do that, let me show you what we're making. Can you guys can still see my screen, right? I think you can. Let me close this. Okay, so this is the first thing that we're making. Oopsie. This is a little home button. If it ever loads, we'll be able to see it. So you can see this little home button right here. It has the drop shadow and then the little highlight on the top left. And when you hover your mouse over it, it changes color. It's very cute. It's very simple. We're doing really simple things because I don't want to scare you or anything. And then we're going to make this little sliding button. And have this little button, and it just slides back and forth. So we're just making little UI elements basically. And sometimes I feel like I talk too fast. So in the event that I do, I've written out all the steps, step by step here. So if you'd like to work on this on your own time and you just want to watch, that's totally fine, or do it at your own pace. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to drop this link in the chat. It's my email. Okay, cool. So I'll just chill here and wait. And at like 7:10, we can get started. Hello, if you just came in, I dropped a Figma file in the chat, so feel free to hop on, and we haven't started anything yet, so don't worry. Oh, also, I don't know if I made enough pages, and if I didn't, feel free to make your own page and just rename it with your name. Yes, please rename the page to show that it's taken. Yes. Okay, cool. We'll get started. I am going to share my screen and we'll do this together. I'm just a little afraid because my laptop is so slow. But yeah, if anyone, like Nisha, if you see something in the chat, just let me know.
Got it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna start by making this home button. And also, if you want, you guys can copy and paste the steps onto your page if that's easier, so you don't have to keep going back and forth. That's totally fine. Okay, step one. So we're gonna start with a square frame. If you don't know how to make a frame, just press F and then just make a frame. Oopsie. Oh, I'm in prototype mode. Okay, so just make a frame. And then once you have your frame, you can fill it with any color. Usually whenever I see like Neumorphic designs, it's like always this like washed out grayish bluish color. I put an example, the EAF0F8 one. Just color it that color. You can try a different color too if you want. It's totally fine. And then once you do that, also if I'm going too fast, just let me know. I have the steps right here, so I'm just gonna read them. And then when you have your square frame, create a square, like a rectangle within that frame. So we're gonna do that first. And then just adjust it so it's at the center. And so a rule of neumorphism is that the foreground is the same color as the background. And the difference comes through in the shadows. So go ahead and color that rectangle that same like washed out blue-gray color that you have. And then once you do that, just adjust the square that's in the center, like make the corners round. I would suggest using something like around 25. That's just my preference. You can play with this however you want to. Okay, and then we're gonna do our first drop shadow. So to do a drop shadow, you make sure you have your little rectangle clicked and then click effects. And then you have your little drop shadow and then click the little sunlight effect. Let me move this to the side. Okay, cool. Okay, and then for the first drop shadow for the x-axis, we want to do something around like 4, and then the y's default is 4, so just keep that the same. And then I would blur something around like 12. Oh, also I forgot to say, I want to acknowledge that this workshop, like there's a resources page, and that's like how I created this workshop. I learned neomorphism through this really nice YouTube video, and I'm using the same activities that YouTuber used. So just disclaimer that YouTuber is like great. So check them out. Anyways, back to this. So we're gonna blur at around 12, and this can be adjusted to your liking. And then the opacity is already gonna be at like 25, and it's gonna be like the black color. But we're gonna adjust that to like 15%. 15% is good. And then once you do that, we're gonna add another drop shadow. So to do that, just go to the effects thing and then click this little button. And then you're gonna click this little sunlight button again. And then we're gonna add another drop shadow, but this isn't gonna be a shadow, it's gonna be a highlight. So to do that in the x-axis, you're gonna, I don't know why I keep saying, okay, yeah, whatever. You're gonna put -4, and if you changed it earlier, like if before you didn't put 4, just always put the opposite. So always put the negative of what you did in the shadow for the highlight. And then we're gonna do -4 again, and then the blur, we're gonna do 12 again. And then for the color, we're gonna change it because it's a highlight, it has to be lighter. I'm going pure white, because it's gonna show up better on this color. And then we're gonna do like 20% opacity. And then that is your first, that's your little, we're like halfway there. So to make this an icon, you can use a plugin. If you don't have a plugin installed and you don't want to really install one right now, and just for the sake of doing this activity, you could just make a circle and like put it in there, and that can be your icon. I'm going to use Iconify, and we'll do a home button again because I thought that looked cute. We'll do this one. And then we're gonna import it. Oh, look how tiny that is. And then I'm just gonna adjust it to my liking. Okay, so I'm gonna pause right there, and I'm just gonna check in on everybody and see how everybody's doing. So how's everyone doing? Let me know if you're at the step that I'm at, because the color, that part gets kind of confusing, so I want to make sure that everybody's doing okay. Ooh, Kelly, I like your page. Very cute. Vishnu, your page looks good also. Nice, 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 nice. Oh, Nisha, very cute page. Okay, cool. I'm done stalking now. We're gonna go back here. Okay, so once you have your little icon on there, you're gonna pick a color. And so gradient's very in right now. So we're gonna do a gradient. Let me actually change this icon because I don't really like it. I'm just gonna grab this one. And I'm gonna get rid of this. Okay, so I have my icon here. Then I'm gonna press fill, and then we're gonna click the color, and we're gonna do linear, and then you can pick whatever colors you want. I did like a pinkish color, and then for my second thing, you could just go for like a darker pinkish. It's really up to you. But make sure you make your other end, the opacity, 100%. And then you're gonna adjust your gradient line so that it's diagonal. So you can just grab this and move it just like that. So the light side's on the left side and the right side's on the dark side. Or the right, yeah.
Are you just editing the icon that you chose?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Also, there's a question in the chat that says, how'd you get the icon? So if you wanna.
Oh, okay, yeah. So for the icons, I used a plugin because Figma has a lot of plugins. And if you want to install the one I'm using right now, you can go onto Google and type in Iconify. It's spelled like this, Iconify. Like type in Iconify plugin Figma, and then you can just install it, and it automatically goes into your Figma.
Can
Um,
you show how to install a plugin?
yeah, I can do that. Let me see if it. Don't look at my email. Can you guys see my screen right now or no?
No.
We just see Figma.
Okay. Let me resume share. Okay, let me stop share. You guys can see it now. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yeah. So Iconify Figma plugin. And then I see this come up. And then this page should come up, and then you just click install right here. For me, it's already installed, so that's why it says that. And then you just go back to your Figma, and then I'll show you how to like use it. Let me go back here. Okay, so to use a plugin that you just installed, if you're using a Mac, it's Control, and then you click. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure like what control would be on another laptop, which is embarrassing of me. But yeah, whatever like kind of like right click is, and then you'll see this thing, these little options, and then you'll see plugins, and then all the plugins that you have installed will come here. And the one that I'm using is Iconify. And if you'd like, also, you can steal from home button results. You can click the icon, Command C, Command V onto your page, and then remove the fill, and then do whatever color you want. So I can pause right now for a couple minutes for everybody to catch up. Does that sound good? Oh, yeah. The icon looks good. Cool. And if you have an icon and it has like a fill color already, if you click on it and press selection colors, and then you click on that, you can adjust the color that way. I hope that kind of clears up questions about how to do the icon colors. So once you do that, once you have your icon and you went to selections and you click the color, on the top left corner, it'll say solid, and you can change it to linear. And then once linear comes up, you'll see this line with these two boxes that you can see on my screen right now. And you can choose whatever colors you want to make the gradient. I usually do like a color and then a darker color for the next, for the other one. And then just make sure both the opacities are set at 100%. And then once you do that, adjust the line so that it's diagonal. And then I will pause there because it gets a little hectic from that. Does anyone have any questions at this point about anything? I know sometimes with icons, the coloring part can get kind of annoying. But if there aren't any questions, I'm going to move on with explaining. Okay, cool. We'll move on. Okay, so at this point, you have your little gradient color in, and the line's diagonal. Now you're like, Masumah, what do we do next? So what you're gonna do, hold on. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your lighter color or whatever color is at the top left corner, and you're gonna grab that little square and you're gonna bring it all the way down to like the middle of the line. And then you're gonna add a new color right here. And for your new color, you're gonna choose a completely different color, like we're gonna use green. And then we have green right here. And then you're gonna drag that down even more. And then you're gonna add another one here. And then you're gonna add like a darker shade for that color. So at this point, you have like 4 different colors in your gradient, and it looks really funky and looks really weird. So I'm gonna pause there again for like a minute. Okay, so if you have your 4 colors on there, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab this entire diagonal line and you're gonna stretch it out so that you can't see the 2 new colors you made. So the 2 original colors that you made should be the only ones showing. So it should look like this. And then now you're gonna take this entire frame and you're gonna duplicate it. The shortcut for that is Command D, or you can do Command C, Command V, and just like copy paste. And now you have your new frame that you're working on. And we are going to leave this as a square, I think, for this activity. I don't think I liked that much that it turned into a circle, so we're just gonna leave that alone. Unless you wanna make it a circle, in which case you just increase this radius by a lot until it looks like a circle. And now we're gonna go back here to this color, and we're going to drag the gradient, this line, oopsie. You're gonna drag this entire line so that only so that the new colors that you made showed. You can adjust this however you want, just like that. Then you're gonna pause there. So now at this point, you have 2 frames that look exactly the same, except they have 2 different gradients on them. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, we're on the home stretch. We're gonna do one more thing and then we'll be done with making this home button. And then I'm gonna make sure that no one has any questions. So what you're gonna do is you're going to click the button that we made, so the rectangle with the rounded corners, and we're gonna click this drop shadow, the highlight that you did. So that should be the second, the drop shadow that's at the very top. You're gonna click that. Let me move this up here. And you're going to increase the blur from 12 to 24. So maybe a good rule of thumb is whatever blur you picked, like just multiply that by 2. And then we're gonna change the X and Y to like -6. And then we're going to decrease the opacity to like 4%. Let's up it, let's do like 7%. And this will give an effect when it's prototyped that it's lifting up. So, you know, kind of cute. Now we're gonna prototype it. But I'm going to pause actually before we prototype it and ask again if anyone has any questions. If not, we can just continue working.
Can you show what you set the new like drop shadow stuff to again?
Yeah, I will just have my screen open to this. So I didn't touch the dark drop shadow. I just adjusted the highlight a little bit. So the X and the Y are both going to be -6 and the blur is going to be 24 and the opacity is going to be like 7%, 4 to 7%. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and just do a little check-in. How are we feeling? Are we ready to prototype yet? Let me know if anyone's nearing the end. Oh, wow. I'm stalking your guys' pages. They look very cute. Nisha, I really like the colors you chose. Oh, these are so cute. Actually, these are so cute. Wow. Nice, 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 nice. Very nice. Okay, it's looking like quite a few people are ready to prototype. So I'm just going to move on to prototyping. If you aren't there yet, the steps are all there written out. And if you have any questions, feel free. You can private message me or Nisha, or if you're comfortable, then just chatting to everybody. So I'm going to reshare my screen. Okay, prototyping part's very easy. So you're going to click on the frame, your first frame that you made, and then you're going to navigate to the little right panel, and then you're going to click prototype, and then there's going to be a little ball button here that you can just drag the arrow there. And then for the interaction details, we are going to make the type while hovering and make sure it's set navigating to your next frame. And then just make sure Smart Animate is clicked. And then we're going to click ease in and out. And we're going to do this to like 450. And then when it's all done, hopefully I even did this right. It should work. Yay. Oh, it's doing my first one that I made, but still, yay. So yeah, that's how you prototype it. Does anyone want me to go over that one more time, or because I'm more than happy to do that. I actually want to see how this new one turned out. Okay, that one didn't do. Okay, yay! Super fun. Does anyone want to share? Oh, I'm reading the chat right now. Oh, someone wants to. Okay, I can reshare how to prototype. Okay, so let me just duplicate this entire thing. I'm gonna make. Okay, so you have your two frames here, right? You're gonna click this, and then on the panel to your right, there's gonna be 3 different options: design, prototype, and inspect. You're gonna click the prototype one. And then when you've selected like one of your frames, there's gonna be this little button with a plus sign that you can click, and then just click and hold it and drag it to your next frame. And then what you're gonna do for your interaction details is make sure the interaction type is while hovering. So this is basically like, what do you want, how do you want to navigate to the next frame? Like, do you want for me to click it to go to the next frame? Do you want me like while I'm dragging it, while I'm blah blah blahing it, like whatever? We're gonna do while hovering, because what we're trying to emulate is when someone hovers their mouse over this icon, that it's going to change color. And then we're going to make sure it's navigating to the correct frame, which is the new one that you made. And then we're going to change this to Smart Animate. Smart Animate, I just want to show how smooth it can be on Figma. And then we're going to make sure that it's ease in and out, because that's the smoothest function, in my opinion. And then for the amount of time, we're going to do 450. And then you just press enter. And then to view it, you just, on your screen, you're gonna see on the top bar, there's like all the people that are on this file, and then share, and then the play button. And you're gonna go ahead and click that play button. And then it'll open up in a new tab. And then when you're hovering, it will show your prototype that you made. I hope that was a little bit clearer and easy to understand. Yay! Is anyone brave enough to share theirs? I really.
I'll share mine.
Okay, go ahead. Let me see. Let me enable screen share.
I have it even.
Oh yeah. Go.
Oh, okay. Hold on. All right. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. If I hover on it, it turns. Oh my god. Why isn't it working? It turns yellow.
Oh, wow, so cute. I love that. It's very much UCSC vibes, blue and the yellow.
I'm not even thinking that, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I love school.
Beautiful. I'm glad that
Thank you.
you did that. Really nice. So I do have another activity that we can do. I think we have enough time, and it's more fun. It's more interactive because it's a little sliding button, and it takes less time also. So if no one else wants to share, we can move on. Is that good with everyone? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yup. Okay. Time for me to share my screen again. Okay. If you're in prototype mode right now, make sure you click design again. So it doesn't act dumb. Okay. So what you're going to do now is you're going to copy and paste the first frame that you made already, like with your home button. Okay. You're going to copy and paste it, like right here. Oopsies. Also, low-key, I would recommend making a new page with your name, because it gets annoying sometimes when there's like multiple things prototyped. So I would just recommend making your new page. I'm gonna do right now. Okay, and then you're just gonna paste that. So I'll just give everybody a second to do that. Okay, cool. So once you have your first frame copy pasted, delete this icon. We don't need her anymore. And then this rectangle that was your button originally, we're gonna make it more like a button. So we're just gonna squish that down a little more, and then we're gonna adjust it so that it's at the center. You know what? I think this is a little bit too big. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay. And then we're going to take that rectangle and copy and paste it. And then we're gonna make it even smaller. Like that's a little bit too skinny. Like this big. And then we're gonna shorten it also. See, okay, this is my issue with Neumorphism. As much as I think it's a really cute 2020 design trend, it's really hard to see. And inaccessible design is a no-no. Okay, so now so now you have your little button, and then you have your what's supposed to become a slider button here, and we're gonna do that linear gradient thing again. So we're gonna go to our fill section that's right here. I'm gonna click the color, I'm gonna change this from solid to linear, and then we're gonna move this little guy so it's horizontal. And then we're going to make it a color. What color should we do? Let's do yellow. Okay, so we're gonna make this yellow. And then we're gonna make this right side also yellow, or whatever color you choose. So I'm just gonna copy that and paste that. Why did it do that? Copy, paste. Okay, cool. But I want it to be like the same type of yellow, but just a little bit lighter. And then we're gonna make the opacity, instead of 0%, we're gonna make it 70%. Make it a little lighter. Okay. So at this point, you have your little slider button and you have a linear gradient on it. And you've adjusted the gradient slider thing so that it's horizontal. And the left side, you have whatever color you choose. And your right side is a lighter shade of that color with 70% opacity. And then you are going to grab this little gradient guy. Actually, let me go ahead and check this. Make sure this is correct. Okay. Or you know what you can do? You can just grab this whole entire like slider rectangle you made and hold shift and then rotate it. When you hold shift, it basically snaps it into position. So it's easier if you want to get it like exactly at 180 degrees. And then flip it so that the lighter side's on the left side and the darker side's on the right side. And then we are going to create a circle. So to create a circle, you can hit O on your keyboard and then hold shift again and then just drag it. And you can make this any size you want. I'm gonna make it big, just so you can see. And then just put it on the edge of your rectangle. And then we want to give it the same yellow color that you gave, or whatever color you gave. And we're going to give it that same color, but we're going to reduce the opacity to 50%. So just a quick recap. You have your button, you have your slider button also, and it has a linear gradient on it. One side of your linear gradient is a light shade with 70% opacity. Then you flipped it over and now you have your circle that has like 50% opacity. And it's also the same yellow color. So I will just take a little break. Just let me see how everyone's doing. Actually, I don't want to screen share and show. Actually, I will. Let me look at Nisha page 2. Oops. Okay. Okay, so I feel like I don't want to go over time. So now we're going to take this and we're going to duplicate this entire frame, Command D. And now what you're going to do is you're going to hold on to the circle, you're going to press Shift, and then you're going to drag it to the other end, and just pressing Shift makes it so that it doesn't run away from you. And then you're going to change this color to whatever color you want. We're going to do this nice little purple color, and we're going to increase the opacity to 100%. And then we're also, can't forget about this guy. Actually, let me copy this color, and then we're going to take this little bar, and then we're going to change this to solid, and then change it to your new color. And yeah, and now you're ready to prototype. So for this, to prototype this, remember, have this selected, go to prototype, do the plus sign button, drag it to your next frame. And for this, the prototype should say on drag, because what we're going to do basically is, you know what, maybe we can, yeah, no, like this. And then we're going to navigate to the next thing, and then we're going to do smart animate, ease in and out, and then we're going to increase this like 500. And then it should work. Let me stop share for just a moment. So my prototyping slow without it. Yeah, okay, it works. Okay, let me try screen share. Okay, cool. So then when you're done, you can grab this little circle and then slide it, and there's your Neumorphic sliding animation. Yeah, so I don't know what everyone is yet, but if you're done and you want to screen share, I can give you screen sharing capabilities and you can do that. Yeah, or if you have any questions, you can PM me questions or ask any. Okay, cool. So I think people are still playing around with stuff. We can continue working for until 7:50 and then do our little closing. If anyone wants to ask any questions then feel free. I was muted. I think he left, but yay, Vishnu.
Masumah, can you give me screen sharing privileges? I'll share mine.
Yes. Yeah, let me. Oh, people want to share. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Screen sharing should work now. So go ahead.
Okay, let me just do this. Yay. That's it.
That looks so good.
Yeah.
I love the colors, and I really like how you went crazy with the gradient. Like, that's really, really beautiful.
I'm gonna go back. Oh, there we go. Good. Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Next.
I'm also down to share. I just need screen sharing. Or can I?
Yeah.
I can. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Go ahead.
You guys can see that?
Yeah.
Sharing. Oh, that's not what I meant by sharing. I made it sideways.
Oh, okay.
Thermometer.
Very much thermometer vibes, I was gonna say. That's
all.
really cute. I love that. I really like how both of you, went outside the box and really made your own. That's really nice. Okay, cool. Well, if no one else wants to share or screen share, that's totally okay. I'm just gonna do my little closing, so I'm gonna share my screen once again. Let me close this. Already did all this. Okay, so this, if you somehow didn't know, was part of Creative Tech Design's workshop week. And our last workshop is tomorrow from 6 to 7 p.m. It's prototyping with Framer, presented by one of our design interns, Sai. So if you like this one, please do check out the next one. It's going to be really fun. And yeah, this concludes the workshop. If you'd like to connect and get to know more about CTD, all of our socials are linked on the left. And if you want to chat or connect with me, then mine are on the right. Yeah, I really enjoyed hosting this workshop, and hopefully it wasn't too crazy or chaotic or anything, but I had fun seeing everyone's designs. And I hope that everyone took something out of this workshop. But yeah, good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.